Welcome to episode 2 where we diminish back pain. In this video, I will cover one stretch and one exercise that will help you relieve back pain and regain your flexibility. For both, I will demonstrate the movement, simple, then I will give you a few tips so you can get the most out of the exercise and the stretch. Starting with the exercise, floor thrust. This exercise will help us strengthen our hamstrings and our glutes. The stronger we get our hamstrings and glutes, the more chance the lower back has to relax. For example, imagine your hamstrings being studs of a house and your lower back is the house itself. If the studs are weak, all the stress will start compiling to the rest of the house. Eventually the house will break down unless we strengthen the studs. The house will be fine and not break down because the studs keep the house up. Same concept applies to your body. If your hamstrings are too weak just to do everyday movements, to just live, well then my friend, all that stress the hamstring can't handle will transfer to your lower back. Now damn, you can't bend properly, you can't sit properly because it's so tight and aching all the time. You see what I'm saying? So at this stage, we will start with the floor thrusts. Performing the floor thrust will start strengthening your hamstrings and eventually loosening up that lower back because your hamstrings are strong again to handle the stress, and hopefully that leads to a pain-free lower back again. So this is the way you perform the floor thrust. You're gonna first get on the ground, lay on your back, bend both knees, engage an anterior tilt, so push that belly button down, squeeze down. If you don't know how to do anterior tilt, here's a video right there. Go check it out and come back after you have learned how to do an anterior tilt from episode 1. It will help you perform this exercise properly. Keeping the core engaged, go ahead and push through your heels. Pushing through your heels is gonna lift your hips off the ground. You're gonna push through your heels as high as you can, then release back down through the heels. Now that you know how to perform the exercise, here are 5 tips to get the most out of your exercise and one that you should avoid. Tip number 1, notice when you push down your heel, you feel your hamstring flexing. Push down the front of the foot, you'll notice your quad flexing. Knowing this gives us an understanding of which muscle is correlated to which pressure point on your foot. Knowing this, make sure you prioritize pushing through the heel, therefore you get the most out of your hamstrings and glutes. If you're unsure at certain times, am I pushing through my heel, through the front? When I'm unsure, I personally like to lift up my toes to ensure that the heel is what's applying pressure in order for my butt to lift off. Another way I practice to make sure that I'm learning to utilize my heel is that I'm acknowledging the pressure at the bottom before I lift up, and I'm acknowledging the pressure in my heel before I release the weight back down. Both sides, I'm making sure the pressure is through the heel. And again, anytime you're uncertain, lift up those toes. There's no way you can't use anything but the heel. Tip number 2, if you cannot complete the full range from A to B, that does not mean give up. Push through the heel, bring the hips as high as you can. That will be your current range. If it's only an inch, it's an inch. Oh well. Use that at your advantage and build up from there. If you have no range and all you can do is push through the heels and flex the glutes, practice that. If it's an inch, go for that inch. Over time, you will be trying to increase the range until you get to the peak flex, and it's possible. You just gotta keep pushing through. Which brings me to tip number 3. If your range is very minimal, you know, like an inch or no range at all, a good way you can challenge yourself, instead of trying to attempt multiple reps, which might already be hard, you can go for a few reps and add holds. For example, teach your glutes how to engage by pressing through the heel and attempting to lift it up. And it's okay if you can only go an inch above the ground. It's okay. Press through the heel, get those glutes off the ground, even if it's by a little inch. Ensure you're pushing through the heel and hold. Hold for a few seconds. Remember, through the heel. Look, you might only be able to do 3 sets, 1, 2, 3 reps, barely doing 1 second holds. Don't give up. Don't give up. Gradually work up to 4 sets with 5 reps in each. being able to hold each rep for 10 seconds at the peak, at its max flex. This is possible. Put in the work, get up to it. It's not impossible. I've been semi-paralyzed and I've been able to activate my glutes again. I've done it. You can do it. Tip number 4. Once you can easily do full range of 5 reps with holds, now aim to work up to 4 sets with 10 to 12 reps, minimal holds. You don't need to necessarily add the 10-second holds. Just make sure when you get up there, you acknowledge the flex in your glutes from your heel. Feel free to add a light dumbbell at your hips if that is easy as well. If that's too easy, continue watching my next videos. Here's my final tip. When executing this exercise, be mindful. Perform the exercise with purpose, not just going from point A to point B. Acknowledge the pressure you feel in the heel, how it engages your glutes, how it engages your hamstring. Basically developing a good mind and muscle connection so you can understand your body. Guys, for real, I do want to push this out. Feel the engagement, feel the flex, and follow through. Performing the exercise with purpose. Therefore, you are aware and intentionally using the targeted muscle to perform your exercise. Stay mindful. Now here is what not to do. I definitely do not recommend hyperextending the hips when going up. If I drew a line from my shoulder to my knees, the hip would never extend above this line. If you extend over this line, that's hyperextending. Don't do it. This movement can dramatically help you with your lower back pain as it targets the hamstrings. The way I mentioned earlier about studs in the house. Exactly. The stronger the studs, the house will stay up. Weak studs, the house will break down. We got that idea. So this movement can dramatically help fix your lower back pain. However, overextending it, that push can cause more harm than good. So be careful. I hope you learned how to do the floor thrust and these tips kind of helped you perform these exercises with a little bit more purpose, being mindful when you're doing it, and hopefully slowly you can strengthen up your hamstrings and be pain-free again.